Obviously, March Madness is here, and I think one of the hottest topics of late has been the NCAA, the NIL, and these old ass men playing college basketball. And I want to make this very clear: by no way do I fault the players that are taking advantage of a situation that the NIL or the NCAA has no control over. But if you look at a team like Auburn, who has an average age older than the Oklahoma City Thunder, you look at Rick Pitino, whose team is a 2 seed. Congratulations, but he's talking about I'm not recruiting high school players. Dan Hurley talking about half his team will jump in the portal after winning back-to-back championships. Like, I think there's a real issue in the NCAA, whether it be money, and we've always screamed for money, so we can't really be complaining about the money. But I just think there needs to be some sort of regulation and age limit in college, because college used to be for amateurs. College used to be for 18-year-old kids coming out of high school and looking to get to that next level. And now you're seeing 23, 24, 25, 26-year-olds playing college sports, and it to me it's ridiculous. And again, by no means am I faulting the athletes, because the money's there and there's no regulations on it. Get all the motherfucking money and experience you can, but I just think that shit is weak. I think college is supposed to be for kids coming out of high school trying to get to that next level, and they're being washed out, looked over, having to go to JCs because there's fucking 26-year-old men with 2 kids that are playing in front of them. So I don't agree with that. I think it's stupid. I think the NCAA needs to do something. The NCAA was always behind the curve, always. They've always been behind the curve. They've never been ahead of anything. It's always been a mess. You guys need to let Jay Billis run that shit. Jay Billis is always talking real shit. You guys need to get the fuck out the way. Jay, you need to retire from your analyst job and go run the NCAA, because I think you make the most sense every time you talk about it.
You ever had one of those moments when you want to elevate your night? Maybe it's a dinner with friends or a celebration that calls for something extra. That's where Grand Marnier comes in. You probably heard of it, but have you tried the signature drink? The Grand Margarita. It's the twist of a classic margarita. It has the smooth richness of Grand Marnier's cognac, and combined with orange liqueur, a bit of citrus, and just the right amount of sweetness. With a taste like that, it's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're chilling at the crib or out with friends, a Grand Marg remixes a regular cocktail into something extraordinary. Don't just settle for a good cocktail when you can have something grand. It's about making your next drink one to remember. So when you're making your next margarita, remix it and make it grand with Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style, drink responsibly.
But that's neither here nor there. Another thing that's been talked about a lot, Shaka Smart and what he's doing over at Marquette, not allowing agents in the mix to get cuts of his players' NIL money or collective money. And some of his top players are using him as a representative. He's not taking no bread, and these guys are getting their full money. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, there's a lot of what ifs in that kind of situation. Do you have that kind of trust in other programs? Who knows? But I love what Shaka is doing. He's allowing these kids to kind of really eat in a safe environment without predators preying over the top of these youngsters. We've been in recent conversations with colleges about doing some NIL stuff and creating content around it, because we know that content is king and these kids really want to learn how to grow their brand. So there's definitely a lane there, and I'm excited that we're going to be able to start helping some of these college kids develop their brand off the court. But let's get to what it is right now, man. March Madness, one of the best times of the year. Myself and the team got a chance to go to UCLA this past weekend and host a panel for the women's team. Shout out Coach Corey, who has always been amazing and goes out of her way to reach out to the men alumni to be a part and seeing the bigger picture and understanding. It was a really awkward situation because I went in there on Sunday and the men's selection show was just ending, and I saw my guy Doug Erickson. He was kind of surprised, like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, Coach Corey wanted me to come do a panel for the women's team. And it was just kind of a weird feeling that the UCLA men's team and Coach Cronin, and whether you like him or not, it's really not really up to me. I don't really care, but how he just doesn't give a fuck about the guys that came before at all. No conversation, no effort, no nothing. And on the flip side, Coach Corey, who's been there for nearly 14 years, goes out of her way to reach out to us, send us gear, send us shoes, check on the family. I'm like, I never played for her, never knew her before this opportunity, but she's just amazing, and really want to give her a shout out for just the way she goes about it. But anyway, I went up there and hosted a panel where I got a chance to talk to Coach Corey, talk to Lauren Betts, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Kiki Rice, all Big Ten, and Gabrielle Jaquez, Jaime's little sister, who was out there doing her thing. So it was really cool. Got a chance to sit down, talk to them, talk to them about their experience at UCLA, their upcoming battle, and their seed in the tournament. And it was a great time. They got the number 1 seed and will be playing at home their first 2 games, which is amazing. They're down the road cross rivals. Juju and the USC Trojans got the 4th number 1 seed, and their coach came out and felt a little disrespected about that seed. But nevertheless, I know SC will be ready to rock. The crazy part, I will say that the men's, there's more hype around the men's bracket this year. But what I also say is there's a lot of hype around the women's tournament this upcoming March. So really excited to see both. I know the men are the the 7th seed. I think they play Utah State in the first round, which will be a solid matchup. And if they're able to get by them, they'll play the winner of the Tennessee game. And Tennessee's playing some good ball right now. So wishing the men's team well in their journey, and definitely wishing the women's side well. They got a nice draw, and if it all comes down to it, I think they would play SC in the Final Four, which I was hoping to have that on them on the other side and possibly play them in the national championship. We're obviously not looking ahead, but if we are looking ahead, I think it's going to be a crazy Final Four. But good luck to all the teams in this bracket, in this madness. I remember personally, March Madness was the funnest time, one of the funnest times of my life. So enjoy it, embrace it, play every game like it's your last, because it can be.